Do you want a financially secure future, not just for yourself, but for your loved ones as well? This is Generations of Wealth, the podcast that breaks down the most effective wealth building strategies you can easily apply to your own life. Join investor and international best-selling author Derek Dombeck in exploring practical tips and sound advice on building a profitable business, creating a powerful brand, or getting into the thriving world of real estate investing. This is your chance to create your very own financial roadmap to live your vision, love your life. Let's begin this discussion with your host, Derek Dombeck.
Welcome to the Generations of Wealth podcast. I'm your host, Derek Dombeck, and this is the show where we try to bring you information about how you can live your vision, love your life in all different aspects. Today, we've got Barry Coziahr, and the reason I really am excited about this show is so many of us entrepreneurs get wrapped up into doing everything ourselves, and Barry is an absolute wizard when it comes to delegating, utilizing virtual assistants. Barry, if you wouldn't mind, just tell everybody a little bit about who you are, where you come from, and
Sure.
Dive right in.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you I'm from the Midwest originally. I grew up in Central Illinois. Lived in St. Louis for about 20 years, and long background in community outreach, marketing, average promotion, nonprofits, and then started my own marketing company in St. Louis about 19 years ago, roughly. And and then we use a lot of remote personnel and virtual personnel and growing that in other businesses. And so back in 2020, we decided to open a virtual assistant business. And we've done, because we did such a great job finding the excellent people, right? Really putting a process in place where we found incredible people and helping business owners do the same, providing them with really great people that can help them to take over things and do tasks, And so I still love working with nonprofits. I like helping small business. It's a lot of fun, and I still stay pretty involved with the community, and I like to read a lot, and that's me. I got a lot of information about a lot of things that I've piled up over the years that I like to share with people.
Well, we appreciate your time, and we're certainly going to pick your brain and try and figure out, because one of the things that I was guilty of myself for a long time, and many entrepreneurs is we have to have our fingers on everything. We have to, we're control freaks, a lot of us by nature.
Sure.
And when I finally let go of the reins a little bit and decided to be more of a manager and allow other people to do the work, the freedom that comes with that can be significant. I mean, certainly if you're doing it incorrectly or managing incorrectly, it can just cause more problems. But let's kind of start at the beginning. We assume everybody knows what a virtual assistant is, but what is it? I mean, just the broad definition.
We're talking about remote personnel. These are people that are working at a distance, and so that they can do anything that can be done with a computer at a long distance. And that includes, it's real cheap and easy to get them a phone line so they can answer your phone, or they can do outbound calling for you or follow up. The list goes on and on. We have a big list of things, that basically help people to, figure out what they could do for them. And, but the skills are tremendous and varied potentially. So that's one of the things you want to do when you're getting a virtual assistant. You want to find somebody that's tailored for, that has the task that you're looking for. We actually have an eBook, 249 things that a virtual assistant can do for you. So it's basically somebody remote who's competent and can get work done, and that you can work with to make it happen, to grow your business.
In that ebook, you've been generous enough to make that available to my audience. So if everybody goes to thegenerationsofwealth.com/delegate, you will be linked up to Barry's ebook, 249 things virtual assistant can do for you. So when you look at the 249 things, touch on a few of them. Like what what are the more surprising things that a virtual assistant can do for you?
Surprising. Well, I mean, some of the regular things. I'll tell you some of the regular things. I'll tell you some of the surprising things. But so yeah, anything that a local, somebody that's comes to your office can do, except you don't have to have an office. It's great. Our people are from people we work with are from the Philippines. They speak great English. They're taught English. English is a language that they know well. My people, they love education in the Philippines. They're lifelong learners. They're big family people, so they're just good. They're a church community. They're a big religious community. So they're just good people in general, and so they're a great place where we find our people. And so you're working with this person who has the skills can be pretty varied. We help get people who are personal assistants, executive assistants, sales assistants, marketing assistants, finance assistants, any just about anything you could think of. We're finding somebody an animator right now for their marketing business, somebody who's going to do animation because they have we're supplying people that are working as a regular part of your team. They're working like 10, 20, 40 hours a week on regular tasks. We have one client who needs an animator. So we found him an animator, somebody who's going to be doing that on a regular basis. I mean, that's an unusual one. Well, we have lawyers that we work for even. And so one lawyer has a personal executive assistant who helps her handle her email and her phones and the whole deal, so she can stay on top of people that are reaching out to her that need help. And so that's invaluable. We work with coaches, work with a pet supply store. We supply a number of an e-commerce pet supply store, and we've been approached to be the receptionist for an escape room business where we could remotely see the people that were there coming to the business and let them in, and and be the receptionist from the other side of the world. But the list, it goes on and on. It's like I said, personal assistants, executive assistants, sales assistants, bookkeeping people. Really looking at the list is a great thing to do because you'd be like really surprised at all the things that can be done remotely. And often people will take that as sort of yep, I need help with that. Yep, and they kind of get an idea of the kind of person that they need. And then they talk to our people and we zero in on it and make sure you get a person that's a good fit.
So when you're a small business owner or you want to grow or scale your business, how do you really know when is it time to delegate? When is it time to bring in that executive assistant, for example?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that like one of my favorite pieces of my tool that I like applying, I'm sure a lot of people have heard about this. I'm sure you've heard about it. There's a thing called the 80-20 principle. And the 80-20 principle deals with basically 80% of the results come from 20% of the effort, right? And discovered by an Italian economist, horticulturist. I won't try to pronounce his name, but it was Pareto principle is what it's called. And it's the 80-20 principle. It's like what he found was that about 20% of the population in his country owned 80% of the property. And he also then found in his garden that about 20% of the plants were producing 80% of the produce. And the 80-20 principle is sort of a rough principle where it's not always 80-20 exactly, but the general rule is that there are certain things that you do that produce the biggest results in your business. And some of those areas that you should look at in your business is like promotion, sales, customer service, these things, right? You want to kind of examine your business and find out, are there things, I mean, you obviously need to grow your business. You need to get more customers. You need to, most people do. You need to get more customers. You need to have income coming in. And this takes activities like promotion. This takes activities like sales. And you have to service your people well. So those are some key, I think those are some key 80-20 areas that you can zero in on. And you really take a look at what could somebody take. There's two ways to apply it as I see. One is, what are some of those 80% of the things that I shouldn't be doing that have to get done that somebody could take off my plate the things that aren't necessarily the big movers and shakers in my business, the big things that really move the dial and push me forward. Is there somebody else that could do a number of those things? They have to get done. They're necessary. They do assist, but they're not necessarily the things you need to be doing, right? And are those all piled up? Are they stopping you from doing the key things that would allow you to expand your business, make more money, get no clients, take care of, do the things that are important within your business? The other side of it is, are there things that within your business that if you could get some help with them, you could grow faster? Like if you could have somebody helping you with, a lead generation method that you use within your business. Is there somebody who can help you to do follow-up actions or send out simple emails that you put together on a routine basis to help you to reach out and make connections on LinkedIn every single week? Somebody who could make sure that help you create some content and post it on social media, check your email for follow-up things. I mean, these are things that could make you money, could get you new clients. And so do you need to get some help? Somebody who's directly assisting you with those things that immediately move the dial, right? Somebody who's, like in the case of e-commerce, we help people with customer service side of things. And so that's what they've got people basically all the time there, right? Helping, making sure people get what they need, which is key because they want people to come back. They want people to sign up again and help them with, make sure they get what they want, right? So there are a lot of examples of that with the 80-20 principle, where you can basically take a look at those two things. Are there, another way of looking at the 80-20% principle, you could have 10 things on your plan for the day, and there's 2 of them probably that those are the things you must do, right? And the other 8, if you didn't do them, the universe wouldn't necessarily fall apart or anything. Chances are, I mean, I could be wrong, or roughly that percentage. Maybe there's 3 things or 3.5 things that you must do. And the other 8 are kind of like nice, and that'd be great if you did it. I know it's true of my list of things to do. So you look at that and you say, okay, great. So how do I get somebody to take some of these other things off my plate, do them, and develop a system where they can take them, and that I can get on with those 20%, those key 20% of the things that are really the things that push the business forward, that make it so that we truly expand the things that I should be spending my time on, if that would really make a difference. Everybody could probably think of those things, and they're the things that you really like to do too.
Yeah, the highest and best use of your time should be as often as possible utilized.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, and it's a matter of what do you really like to do too? There's some things I don't like to do. I don't like to do bookkeeping. Now there are people that love to do bookkeeping. That's great. That's all they want to do is bookkeeping. And well, in which case they should, there's a lady who's growing a business I talked to the other day that she realized she has to get involved with sales, but she really wants to spend her time doing bookkeeping. And so she's bit the bullet and she's selling and networking and meeting clients. But there's a lot of things that lead up to meeting a client that she could have somebody else help her with. And that would help her to grow her bookkeeping business. And so she can, anyway, there's definitely a lot of uses for, a virtual assistant.
Yeah, I know in my business, and we've used virtual assistants for years. My executive assistant, she lives in the same state as me, but she's 2.5 hours away. And we have also some of our VAs are in the Philippines. For us, over the period of the last 10 years or so, we had to go through a fair number of different staff members to really find the ones that we liked. I mean, you run a service, and obviously you vet a fair number of people to find the quality ones. So compare, what does your service do to if I just want to go out on my own and try and go on the internet, go on Facebook, go on wherever possible to find one? How do you vet them?
Sure. I mean, recruitment's a big job all by itself. Like finding the right person. I mean, you can spend, I'm sure you have this experience where you spend hours, days, weeks, looking for and trying to find somebody that you're truly going to be happy with. And we put together systems that, we do testing is one of the things we do right off the bat. We have great tests that we give to people. We do a personality test, which is basically it's a test that measures key traits very accurately: communication traits, stability, responsibility, how aggressive the person is going after things, getting things done. These are key things that it measures. So, that's one test. We also do another test called an IQ test, which basically measures intelligence, obviously, intelligence quotients. But what it measures is problem-solving ability, because you want somebody who's more of a problem solver. This is a key component of somebody who's going to work for you. And then the third test that we do before we make a final decision about somebody, and obviously we do interviews, we talk to the person, we check into many other things about the individual. But the third test we do is what's called an aptitude test. And the aptitude test measures the person's ability to duplicate things, right? Duplicate and follow instructions. So they see what, they really understood what was asked, and they follow those instructions. I'm sure you've run into all three of those things potentially being an issue, right? I mean, if somebody they're not in good communication with you, or they're not stable, or they're not responsive, if they have low responsibility, these can be things that cause you a problem, right? If they're not a problem solver, this can be a problem, right? If they're not, if they don't duplicate instructions well, those can be issues. So the testing really helps us to sort that out. We have a person who's flat out just finding people, testing them, interviewing them, making sure that we have good, high quality people that are then chosen by the best of our people as the person who's going to service the clients. And so I think that's really important, the selection process. And I think that's, and then the other thing that we do, which is, I think is pretty key and important, is we act as sort of a outsourced HR department, if you will. We're coaching and helping the person get into position and into place, doing the tasks that are needed. If there's any problems as we move forward, we have lots of experience with working with other businesses. So we're able to help the person to tweak their activities and get things, get into better shape with what they're doing. Yeah, all those things.
Again, if somebody's doing it on their own, it's trial and error.
It's trial and error. We did that too. But I knew about, I've used testing for a long time. I've used testing for probably, I guess basically about 20 years. I've been using testing materials in recruitment and for other purposes. And it does make a big difference. It's like the trial and error can be pretty painful.
Yeah, I mean, been there, done that, have that T-shirt.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the other thing, because we act as sort of an outsourced HR department, I mean, I'd say that we hit it better than, our 80% of the time, 90% of the time. But for the smaller things where maybe it's not quite a great fit, boom, we're right there. We handle it. So, and without missing a beat or missing a day's of work usually. There's other things too, which you probably put in place, because you've been doing it for so long. It's besides having these facilities that we offer, we recommend to people that they, have a daily report from the person, so that they have, so they know what's been accomplished, right? That they, meet with them on a regular basis, have regular meetings. I'm sure you do that. I meet with some of my assistants daily, and some of it's just to check in. We use communication tools, and we help, such as online communication tools. There's a great one called Slack, which is basically like a little chat facility that there's a free version that you can use to chat amongst your staff, so that we have people posting their updates daily, so that we know how they're doing, what's happening. And then regular meetings with the clients is part of what we do to make sure everything's going great. We try to meet with people on a weekly basis. I think that's key, where you're out, like our agencies meeting with you and the VA on a weekly basis to make sure everything's going good. And then, the other thing I mentioned is the thing called SOPs. which are standard operating procedures, right? Because if you've got a great process and you have a person who's doing it really well, then you need to document that process, what they're doing and how they're doing it. And then, have that as the, because as you expand your team, now you've got a copy of this process and you can pass it on to the new person that's just come along, who's joined the team, or you can, the case where you might have to replace the person, you've got these processes recorded, and yeah, it's easier.
Yeah, and we've always, well, I say always, not always, but now more recently, we have that staff member. It's part of their job is to do all of the SOPs, update the SOPs. And it's not that we want to replace them, but the reality is someday we're going to end up having to replace them. Early on with the trial and error, we were trying to come up with all the SOPs. And if you hire the right assistant and you put the right butts in the right seats,
Sure.
it'll be very easy for them.
Yeah.
And then
That's training that we have that we make available, and we actually train people. We train our staff on how to do SOPs. So that's, and then people, we train certain staff, and if clients request it, we put them through the training. We have it available. We can do that.
So what's the pricing look like with specifically to the Philippines? Because that's where you source your people from. Like my VA that is my executive assistant, who is in the same state I'm in.
Sure.
She's going to be significantly more than what we would spend. But we also have a call center that's stateside. So there's a big range of expense, but what do you see as average?
Sure. I mean, we provide people for a little less than $10 an hour. And that's usually with a monthly commitment, of like 10, 20, or 40 hours a week. And it's right about that, and then it can be more depending on the skill sets that are needed. So it can go up a few bucks from there, all the way up to maybe, 12 or $13 an hour. But yeah, that's really, I think that's super reasonable, because there's no payroll taxes involved. There's no health benefits or insurance. Because we handle it for them, there's the replacement costs are kept low, meaning there's no recruiters that's needed, and you can continue to keep focusing on the things that are important. So, and there's all those benefits financially that, it works out really, really great to help people grow their business.
Yeah, as I said earlier, when we finally gave up the control and not control, but having to do everything ourselves, it's virtually impossible to scale when we are all common in one way, regardless of where you live, who you are. We all only have 24 hours in a day, and there's only so much you can do. And some of us need time to podcast and get back and help people. So while we're doing this, our VAs are getting other stuff done, which is the way it should be.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I like spending my time. I meet with a lot of people and talk with them, consult them on their business and how they can move things forward. I talk to them about which services we have that are right for them. I mean, I enjoy that part of the business because I enjoy meeting with people. I meet with a lot of people every week, and I enjoy leading the team and coming up with strategies and guiding them in general for both my businesses, because I have a marketing business and a virtual assistant business, and they're both staffed by my virtual assistants, right? And so I don't have to necessarily get into the weeds on other parts of the work that have to get done. Like you said, while I'm busy doing those actions that I prefer to do, that I like to spend my time on, a lot of work is getting done because I have people doing it,
Absolutely. Well, and for us entrepreneurs, people that listen to my show and shows like ours, it's truly meant to be a business, not self-employment. And for us to live our vision the way we want and enjoy our lives, it does require help. And for a long time, I was scared to have employees because, of course, all the people that don't own businesses tell you employees are terrible. VAs considered as an employee role, right? You're just going to have to babysit, And I would say if you do it wrong, yes, you will be babysitting and there will be headaches. But when you
Yeah.
do it right and when you get the right people, I know the two VAs that I have specifically just doing our social media marketing, I have never had a one-on-one conversation with either one of them. My executive assistant, it's her job to oversee the two VAs that are in the Philippines. Yeah, they can message me. We use Teams through our Microsoft account for all of our messaging, like you mentioned Slack earlier.
Yeah.
They can message me, but I honestly, it runs so smooth. I don't need to get involved. If I do need to get involved, that means the wheels came off the bus and something went really wrong.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic, and they're so grateful for the work, and we're grateful to help them. We love giving them little bonuses and things along the way, and you mentioned earlier, specific to the Philippines, their work ethic and the quality of people is fantastic. I mean,
I agree.
absolutely
Yeah.
love them.
I agree. I think a key for a business owner is like, I mean, you really have to just find some things that are, you know, tasks that have to be done every single week, right? Because there are things that either you should be doing or you are doing that have to get done every single week. And there could be a lot of things, just like social media is a great one. And if you can, good. So what do you need done? How do you need it done? What are you expecting? And somebody's producing that every single week. And maybe at the beginning, you might have to handle the person yourself, but it doesn't have to be a big deal. They're set up so they show you what's happening once a week. They meet with you once a week. If you're doing it with us, you can meet with also the person who's overseeing them on our side of things. And it's great. Then you've got these tasks laid out every week. They're helping move things forward for your business. I'm sure you've got lots of examples of that. I do. The whole recruitment part of it. I mean, I architected the whole thing, but I don't do it. The accounting, I don't do it. Right? It's like there's so many different pieces of my business that I don't do because I have people that I put in place. And I think you figured it out too. It's like, these people in the Philippines are great people, great work ethic, and they're like, and the what it costs to employ them, right, is something that a business owner can use as one of the benefits, of the global system. This everything we are going here. We can use it to grow, to really leverage and grow his business for real, and then he has to figure out, how to, I mean, he can honestly scale it like you figured out. And like, I figured it out and others are figuring out, but we can help,
Absolutely. And the number one example I would give is this podcast. My VAs scheduled you. They
Oh, great.
sent me all of the information. You and I jump on here and we get to have a good time. And right after we're done recording, the VAs are going to take the recording and it's going to go to post-production and then it's going to get launched. And I don't touch any of it. And the reason I don't is because I'm an idiot when it comes to that kind of stuff. I absolutely would be horrible at it. It's not my
Yeah.
strong suit. I don't like it. I don't want to do it. I
Right.
want to do this. I love chatting with you and helping our listeners. That's where I draw the line. So this entire podcast is run by VAs. 100%.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, we have like very similar things, many similar things like that are just totally taken. I mean, I told you I meet a lot of people every week. That work is done by my team. They're the ones that schedule people for me to meet and help me to meet people that I meet every week. They help me to do follow-up actions and follow-up is incredibly important in a business. And I get assistance with that. I get help with that. And the business grows because of it, because these key things aren't dropped. I mean, we have our marketing side of things, we have over 40 people that are remote. And these people are, ran by my partner, right? And, but people that do search engine optimization and pay-per-click advertising, that I'm like, I've never had a direct conversation with these people, like you said. But there they are getting work done for my people, for my customers.
Absolutely. Well, Barry, I want to be respectful of your time and appreciate you coming on and sharing all your knowledge and your experience with working with VAs.
Absolutely.
And again, for anybody that wants to get the 249 things a virtual assistant can do for you, just go to thegenerationsofwealth.com/delegate, and everything else. I say it every show. We're here to live our vision, love our life, help each other, spread the message. Follow us on Facebook at the Generations of Wealth. Join that Facebook group. Get involved in the community. Barry.
Thank you. Yeah, just the other thing, if anybody wants to reach out to me directly, the best place to reach me is through my marketing email address, barry@stampedebranding.com, that I'll share with you too, that you can, so it's barry@stampedebranding.com. Or if you fill out that little form and get the ebook, you'll end up talking to me if you want to. Yeah.
Well, that's what it's all about. We're all here to help and share our knowledge, and if we can help each other and give business back and forth to each other as entrepreneurs, that's the goal. It's all about networking.
Absolutely.
So we'll wrap it up. Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Generations of Wealth show. And until next time, go out, live your vision, love your life. Have a great day.
Thank you for joining us on another insightful episode of Generations of Wealth. May your newfound knowledge help you in leveling up your own strategies to get through the many obstacles to your money-making processes and bring you much closer to the financially secure life you truly deserve. Continue filling up your accounts and further polish your financial tactics by listening to more episodes of the podcast at thegenerationsofwealth.com. Because in your wealth building journey, there is no other way to go but up, giving you the chance to finally live your vision, love your life. That's all for now. See you on the next one.